Primal, Season 2, Episode 4, The Red Mist. Spoilers up ahead if you haven't seen it, and we highly recommend you go back and watch this series because it's super good. Let's go! Welcome back to AsArt. My name is Nick, and I have Britt with me here. She's a very talented photographer. Check her out on Instagram, chacha.cherry. And yeah, this is Primal. It's a show we're covering on HBO Max. We've been covering tons of other shows on HBO Max, from Raised by Wolves, Westworld, you name it. We're trying to cover it the best we can. And we cover other shows too on Netflix and Prime and some stuff on Disney Plus. We're trying to cover everything we can. Obviously, there's a lot, and we're doing our best. And by the way, if you go to AsArt.space, you can find all of our audio and video links and cool shirts we're designing. If it comes to Audi from Severance, that's another show we're covering here, and also Raised by Wolves. And I know it's canceled, but we love the show, and we hope it gets picked up by another streaming service. Okay, let's jump into The Red Mist, which I keep thinking Red Dawn because it is like in the morning.
I mean, the tones were kind of like that.
It was, as I think it's from Harry Potter, this quote, bloody good.
Yeah, there's definitely no snugging in this.
It was very bloody, very violent, very gruesome.
It was
beautifully animated.
So beautifully gory. It was cringing to watch. Like,
it was 30 minutes basically of blood and limbs.
Oh,
well,
my
maybe
God.
not. It was probably a good 20 minutes because there was 10 minutes at the end where it was like setting up the rest of the season, probably, of them being hunted. And it was their call to action now.
Right.
Because they're technically the bad guys, even though it was kind of switched, but now it's kind of going back to both ways kind of thing.
I can't stand watching animals get hurt, so it's kind of ironic that it's a big T-Rex, but when anything happens to Fang, I'm like, I'm about to puke. Like, I just want
a lot has happened to him in this
and
episode.
Just seeing them take the beating again, it was just so cringing this time because it's humans. So there's a different sense of humanity, and you start to look at life differently because there's so many humans, and you're throwing kids in there, which you know that Spear has cares about kids. I don't know Fang's opinion, but like we know
Food.
that. Well, Fang's just kind of like protect Spear.
Yeah,
that's all Fang's that's pretty much all that Fang's doing right now is just protect Spear, and because Fang doesn't really have this motive or ultimate life goal, or this is what I want to be when I grow up. Huh?
That we know of. No, he might have a deep down life goal now to find a partner. I
think Genndy does a really good job at comparing, human life versus relationship values over a crossing over of species, because you're starting to still see like there's a humanity within, Fang, that we attach ourselves to Fang as if she was a human, and we have the same feelings. We're probably more attached to Fang than we are to the people in the village, because we're seeing from the perspective of Spear and Fang. But when you're like my heart still goes more out to Fang. But I think the writers did a great job.
They don't have the best thing going for them, that they have slaves or prisoners of war. You know what I mean? So I don't know if it justifies is like massacring the
which
whole
is wild, like the way that we're going back and forth about, because it's like you still feel bad though, because it's a civilization, it's a village, it's a tribe. There's a mom, there's a kid, there's a family, there's a brother, there's a sister, there's the father, there's the whole village that just has spent so much time building up their town to have it wiped overnight. Which is also like, I get it. You do kind of have it coming if you're enslaving people. You're not even having them do anything. You're just having them sit there with things over their necks.
Well, and it's also the second tribe we've seen. Correct. It's much different from the first tribe. The first tribe was so much more friendlier.
Well, we don't know what they were like, minus the slavery. We have no idea.
The first tribe. I mean, they were actually trying to communicate. They would stop the violence. Like, there was no one trying to get involved. Everyone was just like, keep throwing spears.
That's
and
a good comparison.
Yeah. And I think it's pretty interesting too. The first tribe's colors was blue, and this one's more of a redder tone. So it can be like blue's more calming and level-headed.
Celtic Vikings.
Well,
which is interesting that there's the caveman.
Well, most definitely with the send off with the torch and the horns.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, and it looks like, I guess we don't know if the other tribe had swords or not. I can't remember if they had swords. We just know the swords were very present in this Viking tribe compared to the other tribe.
I have to go back and look at the history of it, because I don't know much about the history of that time, but like Sphere looks like he's Neanderthal, right? He's
Oh yeah.
caveman status. And then you get these villages. So it's like, I think they could be existing at the same time, but a lot of it just doesn't. And it reminded me of Samurai Jack. I don't remember the very first episode where he goes, so he, the big bad guy takes over and the mom saves Jack and sends him away and he trains through all these different cultures before he gets sent to the future. So I think Genndy does something like he really plays with time in an interesting manner. Like you don't know where you are time-wise.
It's and also a different island too, right?
Yeah, which is like what? Like it's just interesting to again geographically trying to figure out like where they are because Spear looks so different from the Vikings. And it's like, how far did you go on the ocean? But if it looks Celtic, then I'm guessing this is all somewhere in like Northern Europe or like
Ireland. Yeah.
Yeah, which I think is going to be interesting because you're starting to see more like of the culture being founded. What else? Stand back to fight. What I did think was cool about Mira is when she's running from the person trying to catch the slaves. There's that moment that I don't know if you remember Dad telling that story when he was a kid and he was running away from the big high schoolers and he had to stop and it went through his head like either you keep running or you stand up and you fight and he got the boombox. But it reminded me of that idea of when you're running from something, at some point you have to take a stand. And what's cool about Mira is you're starting to see that she's taking on this bravery from Sphere and Fane, where all the rest of them kept on running. She's been enslaved multiple times. And this time she fought back, which I thought was kind of cool for her character within that character development.
Which is cool too, because then we also see her leave with Fang and Spear.
Yeah, which I would probably want to still hang out with them than the terrified slaves just running randomly into the forest.
Which means she went back in.
Yes.
To the village.
Yeah, I don't think they really showed that too much.
No, it just kind of cut once they were going around in the mist, and then there was it looks like it was pretty soon they left, and then the Viking father and son.
Which do you remember the horn when he comes in and so it made me think when they were all coming up what it had to do with the horn. Because I'm so the other people that just came to attack with that with the Grizzlies, does that mean they came on and just docked and were blowing a horn that they weren't really coming to attack? They were just coming off the docks with the horn.
Yeah, I think it's just to let them know that they were on their way back, right?
Yeah, but then it came into this massive battle, and I can't imagine what was going through their heads. It's just one person and one T-Rex taking
that
out.
They know of, though. They don't know the people that showed up on the boat.
Oh yeah,
they just saw the blood tracks leaving, but they don't know how many people actually. And it looks like they burnt the village, so all evidence is gone. They burnt the dock. They burnt the bodies and all that stuff. So,
which I'm kind of curious too. It's like if Fang and Sphere can take out that many people, what are you and your going to do? Minus you have
injured
vengeance.
Though. They're injured.
They're injured. Yes, that's true. But the Vikings are coming in
of surprise.
With a motive.
Yeah.
And the element of surprise. The only thing is that maybe Mira might be able to.
They're also suited up with armor. Something the other people weren't. He had the chainmail all the way around his neck and stuff. Where, whatever, if they even brought swords with him, we don't know if he even brought a weapon with him at this point when he left. I can't remember if he was walking down with a weapon or not. But even if he has one sword, is that going to be enough to cut through the chainmail?
I think he got a spear.
Okay,
at some point.
I don't know if that's gonna be able
to. Or she did. Mira picked up the spear. I remember that.
So it's very interesting the tests that they have in front of them.
Yeah, and I think the idea of the whole episode is just all violence.
You think so?
Just all violence hurts everyone.
Yeah.
And I get it that it's
there's casualties on both sides of war.
Yeah. But I'm very excited. I definitely need to get my hands on drawing some Fang because it totally reminds me of my cat, just a stronger version, cooler version of my cat.
Heavy visuals in this one.
Oh, yeah.
Heavy silhouettes.
Yes.
Relying on major shapes here in the battle scenes. Really good timing and stuff. I mean, they really they took even I get they must be strong, but I mean, the elephants in Lord of the Rings took less arrows than Fang did. And bring them down,
Well,
bring
I
them
mean,
down, bring them
reptiles
down.
do have thick skin, but you're right. So do elephants
And
and
those were big
rhinos,
elephants.
because I think like, even the
Those
rhinos,
elephants were huge. The foot was the size of a horse.
but they didn't have Legolas to run up the
Yeah,
way.
they didn't have magical
Legolas could take out
Legolas
anything. Duh.
floating around,
Um,
skateboarding on elephants.
yeah, I
His
thought it
hero
was
moment.
really cute. One of my favorite moments though is when the Viking dad and the son shoots the boat for his
Mhm.
father.
Yeah.
I thought that was really touching because it does show that they're humans.
What is up with the sun's design though?
I would do that. I couldn't. Okay, I was thinking this.
I wasn't digging
All these
the
cool designs, like
major big chin.
like I can't tell. Is it a teenager? Is it preteen?
Yeah, it was there were some drawings or
The
angles
boy?
of him
Is the
where it was
girl?
just it was just throwing me off though big time. Like I don't know if it's because his like lips were so high up and he had such a huge jaw, and everyone else has beards. All the men have beards in the village, but
I
maybe
know his younger brother looked older.
Yeah, so I mean, I have no idea if they just all have long and elongated jaws like Buzz Lightyear.
Oh my god.
Buzz Lightyear has that like big long jaw too.
Well,
You
so
know
does
what I mean?
Samurai
Like, that's-
Jack.
So, but yeah, but this I don't know.
This
This
is
character
roundy.
just it just really looked weird. Certain
Yeah.
angles. I don't know. I was like, I don't know if I'm digging that. But-
Yeah, I think the dad's kind of scary.
Oh no, the dad looks like straight out of
Oh,
How
what's
to
the
Train Your
dad's
Dragon.
name in
Yeah.
How to Train Your
Yeah,
Dragon?
mhm. I just know Hiccup's the kid. Gerard? No, Gerard Butler plays the
The
character. But,
actors. I can't
yeah,
remember his
I
name.
can't remember. If you know, please comment down below and correct us right now because we're gonna probably remember as soon as we're done recording.
I know all their names are like Barf and like
Yeah,
Hiccup,
I
the
know.
girl Strange names minus Astrid,
Yeah. mhm.
and Toothless, which is the coolest name,
Yes.
but
Yeah,
still
it's
like
Fang.
Toothless.
Fang, Toothless.
Oh,
very
my
related.
favorite.
Very similar. This has been so much fun covering this series. We're thinking about covering other animated series too. If there's some you want us to cover, we covered Arcane in the past, which was a lot of fun. But please comment down below because we're open to try other animated shows like Castlevania. I know I finished that and I know it's already done, but anything like that or along that line, we're both big fans of anime. So just so you know, I don't know if you know this, but they're doing another Avatar animated series, Avatar Last Airbender. And it's going to be through the original writers through
God.
Nickelodeon. So that's something to definitely look forward to in the future. I'm curious if they're going to pick up where they left off or if they're doing a new Avatar or if they're going to the past. It would be amazing because that is beautiful quality animation and storytelling with Avatar. So anyways, go visit chacha.cherry on Instagram. And go to AsArt.space for all the audio and video links. Check out our cool shirts that we've been doing to help support the channel. And we'll see you on the next AsArt.